If Viking ships, halls and storehouses truly depended on waterproof coatings, they would have failed within a generation. Tar cracks, oils wash away, paint peels. Yet Viking-age timber structures survived salt spray, freezing rain, and decades of repeated wetting. The reason is simple and, honestly, deeply misunderstood. Viking builders did not rely on waterproofing. They relied on a system that made waterproofing unnecessary. That system was controlled drying through design, material preparation and constant airflow. Instead of trapping moisture out, Vikings focused on letting moisture escape faster than decay could begin. This approach turned water from an enemy into a temporary condition. Viking builders understood that sealed wood rots faster, not slower. Rot fungi require sustained moisture. If wood dries quickly after getting wet, decay cannot establish itself. Vikings designed every step of construction to guarantee drying. Once you understand this, Viking survival in harsh northern climates stops looking mysterious and starts looking inevitable. Timber preparation mattered more than surface treatment ever could. Viking timber was rarely used fresh. Trees were harvested during cold months when sap levels were lowest. This reduced internal sugars that fungi feed on. Logs were then left exposed to wind, snow, and seasonal cycling. In coastal areas, they were sometimes submerged in seawater or brackish water, which leached remaining sap and minerals. This was not accidental storage. It was intentional conditioning. The goal was to starve decay before it ever had a chance to begin. A modern application is honestly achievable. Harvest or source wood during dormant seasons when possible. If working with raw timber, soak it in cold water for several weeks, then stack it under cover with open sides. Allow months, not days, for seasoning. This single change adds decades to lifespan. Viking builders used air gaps where modern builders use sealants. Instead of sealing joints, Vikings created structures that breathed. Wall planks were overlapped but not glued airtight. Roof boards were laid to shed water while allowing ventilation beneath. Floors were raised above ground, allowing wind to pass underneath and dry the structure from below. Airflow was constant, deliberate, and essential. Moisture could enter, but it could never stay. To apply this today, stop trapping wood between impermeable layers. Leave ventilation gaps behind cladding. Elevate timber off concrete. Allow air movement wherever wood meets another surface. Drying speed matters more than water exclusion. The famed Viking ship proves the method better than any building. Longships were never waterproofed in the modern sense. Their planks flexed. Water entered. Crews expected it. The secret was that water never lingered. Thin, well-seasoned planks dried rapidly once hauled ashore. The ships were stored inverted or elevated to maximize airflow. When tar was used, it was not a sealant. It was a temporary hydrophobic aid applied over already stable wood. The structure itself did the real work. This is why Viking ships could survive repeated voyages without structural rot. They dried completely between exposures. Fire was used sparingly and, quite strategically, not as a simple coating. Vikings sometimes lightly scorched exterior wood surfaces. This wasn't really to seal them, but rather to remove surface sugars and harden the fibres. The charred layer, it repelled insects and shed water, all while remaining breathable. Unlike modern coatings, charring doesn't trap moisture. It actually accelerates drying by reducing capillary absorption. A practical method today, honestly, involves evenly scorching the surface of exterior wood, brushing away any loose char, and then just allowing the wood to weather naturally. No chemicals are required, and maintenance is, well, minimal. Design choices eliminated constant moisture contact. Viking buildings, for the most part, rarely placed wood directly against soil. Posts rested on stones, and sills sat on raised foundations. Roofs extended far beyond the walls, which really reduced direct rain exposure. These decisions, you see, limited how often wood got wet in the first place. Waterproofing tries to fight water after contact, but Viking design prevented unnecessary contact altogether. For modern builders, this means larger overhangs, raised foundations, and deliberate drainage paths. Gravity and airflow, in truth, are more reliable than any coating. So, why did modern waterproofing replace Viking logic? Well, industrial building, frankly, favoured speed over longevity. Sealants offered immediate results with minimal waiting. Over time, the philosophy shifted from managing moisture to attempting to block it entirely. The failure is predictable. When sealants fail, they trap moisture inside the wood. Decay accelerates unseen. Viking methods, on the other hand, fail differently. They fail visibly, slowly, and repairably. Wood dries, and damage reveals itself early. Structures can be maintained instead of replaced. This Viking method, even today, still outperforms modern solutions because, well, biology hasn't changed. Fungi still need moisture and food. Insects still seek sugars. Wood still dries when air moves around it. Viking builders aligned construction with these realities rather than fighting them. If you work with wood, restore historic structures, or just value techniques proven by centuries of survival, this knowledge honestly matters. Subscribe to Thermal Vault, share this guide with fellow builders and history enthusiasts, and help keep practical ancient knowledge alive while modern shortcuts, continue to fail.